Ladies and gentlemen, it is BC. This is a special weekend live I'm doing with you with one of my dear students who's fucking crushing it, and I'm happy to give him some shine. And we were just talking off camera as well for a few minutes, and I can't stop really complimenting the gentleman because he's really doing his thing. I brought on Jordan to my podcast, and here we're going live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch as well. All right, and I wanted to dive into what he's doing, the struggles he's going through, the success that he's having, because I think this story is incredible. He joined what I started recently, the Real Estate Agagi, and within a few weeks, very short time, I actually made a mistake. I said he's taken 3 listings. He's taken 4. He just told me. He's like, homie, you got to change that title because I took 4, not 3. I mean, it's just incredible. So Jordan, welcome to the show, my friend.
I appreciate it, man. Like I was saying off camera, if you would have told me just a few months ago that A, you would know who I am, or B, we're shooting an episode of Supreme Being, I would have lost my mind. I already kind of feel like I'm losing my mind a bit, but it's pretty cool. I'm honored, really.
I appreciate it, bro. We're honored as well. So let's just get into the nitty gritty, man. You joined and you were participating, you were on the calls, and it seemed like very quickly you started to make this shift. Can you talk about, before we get into the 4 listings, some of like the first couple things that you really changed that got you on this path to now start taking listings like a madman?
For sure. Yeah. I do want to give credit to a few single things that really were just game changing. Number 1 was a dialer. For the longest time, I was sitting there thinking I was saving money, manually entering in names, phone numbers, emails every day for at least 45 minutes. I would spend time putting in names and stuff. And then as soon as I got into Agagi, that was the first thing Alden called me out on was, why don't you have a dialer? Why are you doing that? And then my number of contacts shot up per day. Number 2, I would say just the group that you've created. That distinguished agent group is just full of dogs and savages and
in a good way.
Yeah, in a very good way. To me, it kind of seems like the best of the best are all just in one place, all open ears, willing to help even newer or rookie agents jump in. So like simple things like just daily role play calls and stuff like that, and made a world of difference. Focusing on the conversation itself and like actually memorizing the script, knowing what questions to ask, focusing on motivation has been huge for me. Yeah, honestly, I could go on and on about little changes that made a world of difference, but all combined in the last, like you said, 3-4 weeks, it's been taking off. So it's pretty cool.
And dude, I love it because all you're talking about is the basic stuff that I've been preaching for a long time, that the people before me preached and the people before them preached, right? And it seems like there's like this disconnect where people either claim that doesn't work or they don't want to do it. So prior to joining, what do you think was holding you back from doing some of those things?
Myself, more than anything. Yeah. I was very easy to make excuses in my head or kind of feel like I was doing the right thing. I remember when you first join Agagi, you do those 5 or 6 introductory videos. Mm-hmm. And I remember one time you were talking about what is a lead, and you said specifically, I bet some of you are sitting there thinking you have 20 or 30 leads when in reality you have 1 or 2. And then after that, I really like I went back and like revamped how I do everything. Like, and I won't get into the details on that, but that was something that was really eye-opening for me. I was like, shoot, that's me. I have 30, 40 people that I think are serious leads, and reality only like 1 or 2 of them were. But yeah, like you said, I don't really think there is a secret sauce or something. There's not one little trick that's going to make the world. It's just the work you have to put in. You have to get out of your own way and make it happen, you know?
Yeah. And I think this is a good time too, because you said it, right? We have to put in the work. And that's something I've always put at the top. It's like, I could teach you, I could be mentoring you, I could be right by your side, but if you're not going to put in the work, nothing's going to change. Can you discuss, because in this time, right, it hasn't been easy, right? We all have bills to pay. We have our own lives. We have our own problems and issues. Can you talk about some of the struggles you've been going through too? Because I think a lot of people can relate to it, and a lot of people will wise up and say, man, I have it even better than Jordan, and I'm making excuses and he's not. I think this would be great for people to hear.
For sure. One of my biggest mistakes, and I'm still feeling it now, my monthly bills that come out each and every month, I have that set way too high for to the point where if I went a month or two without any business, I would be screwed. I mean, thousands of dollars a month need to be paid whether I sell a house or not. So, and that's something you talk about in the very beginning, is like you have to get your finances straight. Otherwise, your head's not going to be clear. You're not going to be able to focus on what you need to. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm kind of circling here. What was the question specifically?
It was like some of the struggles that you went through, right? Because a lot of people will see the success, but they don't know like what's going on in your life as you're doing this, right? It's not like you're sitting at home in a mansion because your parents have money and you can just go out and work. You have your own bills to pay and you have your own struggles. And I remember you even telling me, right, like that you were like door dashing or doing Uber, right?
Yes, yeah, and even right now, to tell you the truth, I have a lot of really good things. Like I said, 4 listings signed, like we're ready to go, a lot moving on. But even now, I'm still financially not great. So it would be interesting to look at this in just a couple months once that money starts rolling in. But even now, like it's Saturday and I'm still going to be out Ubering for at least 5 or 6 hours a day at some point. So,
so here's a question, right? Yep. Why do you think other people, like, because I've talked to people whether they're gonna, like, even on the Agagi, bro, which anybody can join the Agagi. I made it low barrier. It's like $97 a month. You guys can find it on my website, right? Which I recommend you all get on. But when it came to like distinguished agent, I would talk to people and say, okay, you're telling me the money's the issue. And I would ask them, why don't you Uber for a couple hours a day? That would more than help you cover the fee. And they're not willing to do it, bro. Why are you willing to do that and still have success and work and other people aren't? What's the difference?
Well, truthfully, I've always said if you want to be successful in real estate, I really feel like you have to love it and you have to put yourself in that sacrifice mode. Like no way around it, unless you are sitting in a mansion with all your bills covered. And but for me personally, I didn't have a choice. It was either do the work, prospect, do what you need to do, and keep your lights on at the same time. I didn't have an extra cushion or anything there. So I just had to dive right into both, I guess. But
I love it, man. Can you touch on something? You mentioned something before we went live that you also are financially constrained because there's certain things you're doing correct that cause that. Remember, you mentioned that to me off camera. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I thought that was really cool that you mentioned that.
Yeah. So like before the Agagi program and being part of your group and whatnot, for instance, if I was in this exact situation right now with my money, I would sit there and say, no time to prospect, have to Uber, have to keep the lights on, have to do whatever I can do to get money. But now I have a whole different mindset of I need to do whatever I can to prospect and then catch up the bills. Whereas before I would very easily just be like, well, there's no time to make phone calls. That's not bringing any money in right now.
Yeah.
So I think that shift in mindset made a world of difference, but
that's huge. And that's a shift in your mindset, bro, because like you said, temporarily, it doesn't feel good to do that because you said it yourself. Calling right now isn't going to put money in your pocket, right?
Yeah. Whereas now it's kind of the complete opposite. Before I would be a little bit more hesitant to make phone calls and be more leaning towards, I should Uber, I should get more money. Now my mindset's completely different, where every second I'm like, I should be making phone calls. I don't want to give another Uber ride if I can avoid it. So yeah, I would just say it's a mind shift change.
That's right. As is most of the stuff in the business, because it's not the tools. I'm sure even before you got on the Agagi or even knew about me, maybe you kind of had an idea of what you had to do, just for whatever reason, like you mentioned, you get in your own way, right? So what led to you taking a look at like the Agagi and joining? Like what sparked that idea, or what caused you to be like, okay, I'm joining?
The price, man. Honestly, if money wasn't an issue, I was talking to Alden a year ago about distinguished agent and trying to get in. As soon as I saw the Agagi for the price, there was no question. It was boom. That's my way in.
Yeah. Remove that last barrier, right?
Yeah. Yep. Even like you said, $100 or whatever it is. I don't care if I, I shouldn't say that. I was just gonna say whatever I had to do to get that money, I would make it happen. So
Yeah. And see, you said it, right? And I tell people, if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. We just did a webinar. I think you were on it. And we had some people from that webinar sign up, but the lion's share of people didn't. And I'm like, if you're really serious, that's the step, whether it's me signing up for my stuff or someone else's, like you have to be serious and committed about growing your life and your business. And it sounds like that switch was flipped in you. So it was just an easy decision for you to join, right?
And truthfully, if I could just throw it out there, the first 5 video or whatever it is, when you join Agagi, the first 5 videos easily are worth $100. I mean, I think you get your value out of it immediately. So
yeah, so you're talking about the introductory modules, right? That's what he's mentioning is when you join, I make sure I have to lay the foundation for people with some of the basics. He brought up like the financial mastery and discipline, right? Like there's these little basics that weren't taught to me that when I created this and distinguished agent and everything else, I said, man, people need this. So to avoid the mistakes that I made, let me give these little succinct videos and instructional videos for people to set them up for success. And you feel like that kind of laid the foundation and helped you kind of springboard from there, right?
For sure. Yeah. And I've always followed your free stuff too. So I've heard you say it 100 times. You give enough away for free, but there's only so much you have to pay what you want to get, I guess. I'm kind of struggling to find my words here, but so I was going to say the information that's just in those introductory videos, I really feel like that could be worth $1,000 right there. Just some information, just like you said, laying down the basics, the foundation, that alone flipped a whole switch in me. So,
hell yeah, I appreciate that, man. And it's cool to see the result of it, right? Now, transitioning to the listings, right? Let's talk about these listings. How were these listings found, acquired? Was it easy? Was it tough? What did that whole process look like?
No, I wouldn't say it was easy. After a while, once I really, because I also feel like I've kind of flipped a switch when it comes to the conversation itself and like asking for the motivation, not being afraid to ask for the appointment. So I wouldn't say it was easy, but after, you do the same thing 1 or 2 times in a row, then you get a confidence boost. And then I would say the last 2 that I just had kind of felt easy. I mean, they were mostly just prospects, cold calls, whatever. But this last one was I actually got a signed listing agreement from an 11-minute Uber ride. I gave this old lady a Uber ride for 11 minutes, brought up real estate. She said she wants to sell. I pre-qualified her in the car, said, cool, let's set an appointment. Set the appointment, got it signed. So I would say, hey, that was easy, just from knowing what to ask and knowing having that confidence. So, but I could not have done that 3-4 months ago. Just a random Uber driver. Hey, do you want to sell your house? I know I'm your Uber driver, but
it's a skill. It's a skill you develop in the confidence, bro. Because like most people would say, well, what do you mean? Like I wouldn't list my house with an Uber driver. It's like, dude, but if you can talk the talk and you can walk the walk, you're going to get business. So my question is this, because a lot of people will say, well, I'm young like Jordan, right? I don't have the experience. All 4 of those that you took, did any of them question your experience or really push that button or not?
No. If you speak with confidence and if you know your market and you know how to carry yourself, I don't think anyone's ever, I shouldn't say that. Maybe when I first started real estate, I probably reeked of new agents and young, but lately, no, I don't really have people question how many years I've been or how many houses.
And what have I been telling people, bro? When you walk the walk and you talk the talk, nobody says anything, right? Because I thought Jordan was much younger than he is. He's in his mid-20s. I thought he was like 19 or 20 years old. So
I'll take that as a compliment.
More fitting, right? This is the first time I've seen you with the scruff, though. That's probably why, right? So I again, that's the first fear that everybody has. And I'm sure, when you were doing these, maybe on the first one, but after that, that's not even a thought in your mind, especially going through our training and really focusing on the conversation and the skills behind it. You're not thinking, oh my God, they might think I'm new. You're just ready to get that thing pre-qualified and signed, huh?
Yep. The listing presentation itself too. That was one thing before Agagi. I thought I had that pretty figured out. And then when I jumped into Agagi, started practicing it on the role play calls and whatnot, realizing, oh man, I am a fish out of water here. So yeah, just knowing the listing presentation by itself makes a world of difference, gives you all the confidence you need. It's pretty wild. You changing my life with it, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I love it, brother. Well deserved, man, because you're working hard. I think that's good, bro. I really appreciate you coming on. Is there any, because there's a lot of people who always watch my stuff. You as well. You were following me for a long time. Any last words you want to give them, encouragement, advice, or anything for people out there who are like you, newer, and really want to start seeing this type of success?
Yeah, I would just say, if you're really hesitant on, because right now you have the Agagi program out, that's $100. So if someone's really sitting there going, there's no way I can afford that, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, kind of what I was doing in the beginning. I'll just keep listening to free stuff. When I get some money in my pocket, I'll start making moves. I really think if someone's listening to that, they should just pull the trigger, do Agagi, try it out. Like I said, the first 5 videos, if you take it seriously, you get your money back immediately. You get the value of it at least, but that's what I would say. Just go for it, pull the trigger, don't be scared.
Yeah, and then if you stick with it, you can take 4 listings in a few weeks like this guy, right? Which is incredible. Absolutely. Right? He did a year's worth of the average agent's production, 3 or 4 deals in a couple weeks. And they mostly do buyers. He's doing listings. So he may double in some of those listings. He may help some of those sellers relocate and buy. So those 4 listings can turn into 8, 6, 10 transactions very quickly, which is probably what's going to happen. And this guy's just going to be off to the races. And then you're going to see him in another interview in a couple months wearing his gold jacket, gold chain,
yes,
in his nice car, right?
Yeah. Saying I haven't given an Uber ride in 6 months. Why would I? I love it, bro. That would be the day.
I love it, man. So if somebody wants to hit you up, talk to you, bro, message you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Honestly, just Jordan Hawley, Facebook. I need to talk to you about social media one of these days, but I do have an Instagram. I don't really use it, but if you just look up Jordan Hawley, you should see me on all platforms.
Is it HALL or HOLL?
HOLLEY.
Perfect. There we go, you guys. So if you guys want to message the man, talk to him, get some wisdom, find out more about the Agagi or whatever, let me know. I'm going to link it below in the description here on YouTube and also on Facebook as well. Appreciate you coming on, Jordan. And
I appreciate it.
Yeah, follow this man. He's on his way. He's just getting started. I
do want to throw it out. I don't know if I've told you this before, but the only reason that I'm even licensed in real estate is from watching your old YouTube videos. I used to sit at my old job, washing dishes, listening to your old YouTube videos and going, real estate, maybe that is something I could. So I mean it when I say it. It's crazy just sitting here talking to you over a Zoom call, being on the Supreme Being. Supreme Being is one of my favorite podcasts of all time. So
I love it, brother. And it's humbling to hear that. How did you, as washing dishes, how did you even come across my videos? What was it?
Probably looking for a way out of washing dishes, but just kind of like, I was probably 22, 23 years old, just wondering what's the next move? What do I really want to do? Somehow I fell down a real estate rabbit hole, found you. That's the ripple effect you created. So here we are years later. So
yeah, man, happy it worked out, dude. You're crushing it. Pretty fucking cool. Now I'm going to interview your parents in maybe a year, see what they have to say.
Okay. Hopefully they have good things to say about me. But
all right, brother. Appreciate you coming on. Again, Jordan Hawley, if you guys want to message him, I'm sure you can come into the comment section here as well and drop his comments so you guys can see him. All right. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
I appreciate it.
Salute to everybody listening on Supreme Being. That's it for this episode. Peace.